Indians have a bad feeling about inflation. You see, every couple of months, the RBI talks to thousands of households across the length and breadth of the country and asks them, how do you feel about inflation? What do you think inflation is going to be 1 year from now? And guess what? India believes inflation will be in double digits at over 10% by this time next year. To put that in perspective, the RBI thinks inflation is going to be only 4.5%. And this difference is quite important because future expectations can actually shape today's inflation. We know that sounds confusing, so hear us out. Think for a minute about your favorite chocolate cream biscuits. Think of what could affect the price that you pay for it. There's a whole host of things, right? It could be affected by cocoa beans and refined flour. If the weather has hurt production of the beans and wheat, the supply will fall and the price will rise. Or maybe the price of milk has also risen because there's a problem with cattle feed. Then there's the transportation of the finished product too via trucks or freight. Maybe oil prices have been on a tear, and all of this feeds into the final price of the biscuit. That's the ground reality. But now let's say that you watch the price of your favorite biscuit keenly and you see its price rise slowly but surely from 10 rupees to 11 rupees over the year. All the raw materials that go into it is getting hammered. And when you open up the papers, you see news saying that people in the country are getting hurt by high inflation and that there's a lot of geopolitical events roiling the world, and the changing weather patterns have a ripple effect on food supply chains too. And this gets you thinking, what if inflation continues to rise? Maybe my biscuit price will rise again. So what will be your next move if you fear higher prices in the future? Well, you might choose to rush to the supermarket and start hoarding the biscuits right now, or you might go straight to your employer and seek higher wages because you want your purchasing power to stay intact. But you won't be alone in feeling that. Imagine everyone around you is thinking along the same lines too. Everyone's worried that the price of their favorite things will rise. So if people rush to stock up on their favorite things, that additional demand will put immediate inflationary pressure on products in the supermarket. Also, people will end up making a beeline to their HR manager to demand for higher wages too. And if the businesses agree to bump up wages, you can be sure that it's not because of the goodness of their hearts. They won't absorb these costs themselves. Instead, they'll try to increase the prices of goods that they're manufacturing. Goods like your favorite chocolate biscuit. And that, folks, is how the expectation of higher future inflation could become a vicious, self-fulfilling prophecy.